After finishing my engineering, father forced me to go to MBA in Puttaparthi. I applied, went there. I was not very comfortable. In the very first interview when Swami called for MBA boys, those days MBA boys means highest priority after the PhD students. MBA started just 2 years back. I belonged to third batch of MBA. So we went to MBA. Second day Swami called all of us as a group to interview. In that interview, I did not talk to Swami, Swami did not talk to me. And I didn't take Pad Namaskar. Everyone took Pad Namaskar. I didn't take my Pad Namaskar, Swami's Pad Namaskar. The second interview happened the following day. And that day Swami talked about management techniques, culture, how a manager has to behave. A lot of things he talked about management. And till the previous year, Swami used to go to the MBA classrooms and give lectures. And our batch was privileged to get interviews, and where Swami used to talk about MBA management techniques and all the stuff, how a manager has to behave. So that time at the end of interview, Swami looked at me and asked, "What's your name?" I said, "Swami, you are God. You should be knowing my name." Then I thought of it and I didn't say anything. I just smiled at him. He said, "Where did you come from?" Then I said, "I came from Bhadrachalam, so and so place." Second interview, I did not take any Pad Namaskar. And third interview, fourth interview, it's a group interviews, not personal interviews, group interviews. Then I started seeing Swami in a different way, because a person who did not have any academic background from a small village talking about very high quality management subjects and how a human being or a manager has to behave based on the culture in which the employees are working, all those things. In one of those interviews, he was talking about Japanese culture, Japanese management style and American management style. And Japanese management style, he mentioned that since Japan doesn't have much space, so they do everything called short term inventory, it's just in time concept. He talked about it, and he said everything is miniature. The roads are miniature, very small, so cars are smaller, houses are small, so items are small. All of a sudden he waved his hand and he created a small soap, and so much fragrant, and he created that one and he said, "This is called shell soap." That is in the shape of a shell, a worm. And he passed it around. It was warm actually. Then Swami said, "I just pulled it from the assembly line. It didn't even go for the packing. So I brought it from there, so we could see that." And he gave it to Professor Nanjundaya or someone. That. In the same interview, Swami was talking about Chandragupta. So all the way it shifted, the management style shifted from American culture to Japanese culture, then to Indian culture. Inside, how a manager has to function at various stages. The main focus has to be the culture with which whom you are working. Then he talked about Chandragupta, and all of a sudden again he waved his hand. A medallion came. It's a maroon color medallion and golden letters in Arabic inscribed on that one, or some language. I think Arabic only. And it was shining. And Swami said, "This is the medallion Persian king gave it to Chandragupta at the time of marriage." So I don't remember the exact story, but he narrated that story and he gave that one. Next to me was sitting Professor U.S. Rao. He was our dean then. Then I looked at him and said, "Sir, I have a question." I said, "Yeah, what is it? Tell me." Sir, this is almost 500 years old, Persian king, and if you look at that one, it is brand new, shining, gold color. Then he said, "Don't ask me, ask Swami." I said, if I ask these questions in the right front of public, it's around 28 students plus 5-6 lecturers, I may not continue here. So that's the reason why I kept quiet. But that was answered to me subsequently 2 years later. I just want to put them together here. 2 years later, when I was reading John Hislop's story. In John Hislop, Swami created that cross for him. And when Swami mentioned that, okay, this is this is brought from the same material which was used while crucifying Jesus, he couldn't believe it, because it's happened more than 2000 years back, and does it still exist? So he was thinking like that. He went back to his hometown and checked it, and that turned to be true. The material which was used is already 2000 years old. So then I related. Why I am saying this one is, all these things contributed to build my faith to Swami that he is not a ordinary human being. So that is the feeling with which I joined the institution. Then a few months passed, I think 1.5 months since I joined the college, and I got a letter from my mom saying that okay, there is something, I have to go back home. So I wrote a letter to Swami. This is 1.5 months after joining the college, and by then actually I developed so much of love for Swami, the way how Swami started talking to me, and Pada Namaskar, everything, it became very routine feature, you know. When I see Swami, you know, that love, taking Pada Namaskar, and his attention on me also started increasing it. That time I felt, okay, now I am going to Bhadrachalam, Swami is talking to me, let me take his approval before going there. There was no hard and fast rule. If your hostel warden and college approves, you can go on vacation for a few days. I wrote a letter to Swami. In that one, what I wrote him is, Swami, in this 1.5 months, whatever I learned in Bala Vikas for 10 years or 15 years, this 1.5 months is much more than what I learned there, and I have seen the love from you. I want to go back home and come back within 4 days. But when I go there for 4 days, I don't want to step out of what you taught me in this. I was different before coming here, but this 1.5 months made some change in me. I don't want to go away from this one. I don't want to drift away from this one. I want to stick to that. And after writing this letter, I took it to Swami on that evening for evening darshan. That's the first personal interview I got. Till then, it was only group interviews, like MBA student. He took that letter and said, okay, go for the interview. Then he spoke to me. I went home. Now the second transformation comes. The transformation with Swami, it's not like a switch. Turn it one day. It happens gradually, because so much of churning has to happen, and churning only happens. The way how I have seen Swami is, Swami draws you close to him. Swami makes sure that you love him and you strive for him. You get an attachment for him. Then suddenly he turns it off. Then the yearning comes. Okay, why Swami is not talking to me? What I am doing wrong? How to correct myself? And this happened to me when I went to Bhadrachalam. When I went home, I think 2 days after I went home, my brother, who was staying in Puttaparthi as a student, he called me and said, Brother, Swami talked about you. I said, what did he talk about me? Nothing. He said, okay, where is your brother? Then I said, I told Swami that I am coming here. I wrote a letter and he called me for interview. I told him in person also. And did he say anything? He said, he didn't say anything. And the second day he called me again. So those days we did not have a phone at home. What he is supposed to do is, he has to call a shop nearby, and those person would come and say, okay, you are getting a call from Puttaparthi. So I have to go and wait for that phone call, and after some time again he will call. So I have to talk like that. The second day phone call came, and my brother said, Swami again talked about it. He said, when he is coming. Said, I will be coming on so and so date, but did Swami ask me to come back? No, Swami didn't ask you to come. Okay. Anything else? No, nothing else. And 2 days later again there was a phone call, and Swami has been talking about you only. I said, is there any specific message for me? He said, there is no specific message, but he is saying that, okay, how is he doing? Is he doing this or he is doing that? Okay, I said, okay, then I am starting tomorrow. I started next day and went to Puttaparthi. So when I got down at the bus stand, people were going back from darshan to hostel. And a few of the students who saw me, they looked at me and said, man, what form you are in. Even in your absence also Swami is talking about you. And I said, okay, this is the way how form is. So it's only 1.5 months into going to Puttaparthi and all these things. I went to the hostel thinking that Swami would call me next day morning and he would explain me how he was missing me all these days, which is the hype which was built because of the people around me and because of the numerous calls which I received from my younger brother. So next day morning, it's still, next day morning we went, it's holiday or something like that, went for morning darshan expecting that I would be getting interview. And the people who saw me coming down, they sat around me, because that way at least they would get an opportunity to interact with Swami or take Pada Namaskar. And that morning, nothing has happened. Swami even not even looked at me. He didn't even come in the side completely. Evening, same thing happened. He didn't look at me. So then next day evening I came for darshan. The first day who sat around me, they completely vanished. No one was around me. They knew that okay, Swami is not coming here. No point in sticking to this guy. Then that evening, Swami did not look at me and did not talk to me. He did not take my letter. He was avoiding me, though I was sitting in the lower portico, front row. I was feeling jittery and feeling so bad. So I was feeling, what happened to me or what happened to our relationship? Why did Swami not talk to me? Till then I was thinking that I was elated because the people around me. But this time I was feeling so bad. Why Swami is not talking to me? What's wrong? When I was not here, he was looking at me. He was inquiring about me. Now when I am here, he is not bothered. Darshan was over, bhajan's over, and Swami went inside. So the interview room door was closed. So I was standing right in front of that door. A lot of agony. I don't know whether you call it as earning or not, but it's basically I was feeling bad that why Swami is neglecting. What did I do wrong? And I thought, a lot of thoughts go inside, churning. And then I said, okay, what will happen? Let me go inside and ask Swami. He didn't give me an opportunity to talk to him outside. Let me go inside and ask him, because he hasn't gone upstairs. He would have gone for dinner, whatever it is. Let me go and ask him. At the maximum, what will happen? Swami will say, get out of the place. Okay, that's fine. But at least I get an answer, right? Or else I cannot sleep like that. So I thought like that. Then I took a step towards the door. Then I suddenly saw a hand on my shoulder. It was my warden saying that okay, it's a time for us to go to hostel. I went back to the hostel. Next day evening, Swami called me for interview. In that interview, Swami blasted me. You have done this mistake, you have done that mistake. Most of the things I was not very sure had I done or not. But I think these are the formative days where Swami protects you. He wants to build something in the formative stage. For example, when a sculptor starts chiseling a specific stone, formative points are very, very important. He doesn't want to make a huge chunk go away. Then the entire stone will go away, right? It's not useful. That's what I feel when you look back and start looking at why Swami had done all those things, because he was so careful. He doesn't want you to even move a little bit away or drift away from the path which he has set for you. So that was the reason. Then when he said so many things that I have done in the short span of 3-4 days in sitting in hometown, I couldn't believe it. Had I done so many mistakes. But I think most of the stuff which I had done those days was only thoughts, the thoughts sitting at home, going in various directions which he was not approving it. And that's the reason why the moment I make a wrong step, he would immediately talk to my brother saying that what your brother is doing there. So this is not only for me, for every devotee, because his mission is to transform all of us. When he comes there, he has that kind of attention for every person. Whether we know it or not, those people who are in physical proximity, they see it and the people around them see it. But the churning is common for everyone and anyone. So he clearly mentioned the way how it happens is initially your senses get fed something. For example, your eyes see something, or your nose smells something, or your ears hear something. So these are the inputs which are getting into your mind. And those are the ones which create thoughts. Those are the thoughts which will be transformed into actions. So for all those things, what you have to do is you have to cut the inputs. Your eye, whatever you see it, whatever you read it, whatever you hear it, all those things he wants to cut it. And what he is saying is that one. When I went to my hometown, this is what I was doing it. Whatever I see it. The moment I see it, ideas are coming. Immediately he is getting alerted. This is what actually I was talking about. You didn't do it, but you thought about it. Do you think I don't know? So I said, okay, yes, he is really someone who is sitting in me.